Fall Stinks is the 35th episode of the 6th season of Rugrats, and it's also the second segment in the three-part Acorn, Nuts and Diapey Butts. This follows on from the previous episode, and I have to say it's rather adorable. I don't agree with the title. I don't think fall stinks. I think autumn is the most beautiful time of the year, but the babies are still coping with a lot of changes. There will be spoilers in this there will be spoilers for this episode as well as the previous one, because I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about some things that I found to be really charming and really delightful. There isn't anything in this that I don't think worked. There's nothing I think should have been done differently. I'm still not entirely sure we need this to be a three-parter, and that's three 20-something minute episodes, so basically making it a feature film. But at the same time, I'm enjoying it, so I'm not too bothered about that. But there will be spoilers for this episode and the previous one. I haven't seen the third part, so I obviously can't spoil anything there yet. But as I said, this follows on from the previous episode where Grandpa left, and this starts with a really heartbreaking scene of Tommy's eyes filling up with water as Grandpa leaves, and it's really heartbreaking. Chaz is also going out with a lot of different women. Chuckie's struggling to deal with this, but it's very creative. We see this montage of Chaz with a bunch of different women, and they're all very different personalities, very different characters. I think they probably had a lot of fun creating these different women in their animation design. Certainly I had a lot of fun with that, but it's not nice to see Chuckie feeling like he's not getting any of his father's attention. And not everything is changing. Angelica is still practicing her song, and honestly, the Fall Is Here song is kind of addictive. It sounds terrible when she sings it, but actually it's pretty catchy as well. Phil and Lil are still trying to deal with these oversized diapers, and to their credit, they are trying. There's this beautiful quote from Tommy. And Tommy said, "I bet if we try really hard, we can turn all the bad changes into good ones." And I thought that was so lovely. It's such a positive way of thinking, trying to make the best out of a bad situation. And Phil and Lil do try this, but they ultimately end up doing something that is a lot more liberating. Okay, as I said, there will be spoilers here, so I can say what it is. They take off their diapers and swing them around shouting freedom, which I thought was hilarious, a little bit awkward if very young children are watching this, because there's a very good chance they're going to copy what Phil and Lil did and accidents might happen, but it's very entertaining. And just seeing Phil and Lil finally being happy for the first time in maybe half an hour since this three-parter began. It's nice to see them being happy and free, and Howard's response was, of course, brilliant. And then we get the babies in their festival costumes, and they're fantastic. Tommy and Chuckie look adorable. Dale is dressed as, I think, a potato, which is not the most flattering costume, but I liked it. Visually, I thought it was very entertaining and nice to get that fall feel in this, because while we started off in the previous episode with apple picking and really gorgeous autumnal colours, we haven't had that much of it since then. But getting ready for the festival, I'm really looking forward to actually getting there in the next episode and seeing all of these autumn colours and images again. So definitely not a bad second part, very emotional, some positive thinking from Tommy, but sometimes positive thinking on its own just isn't enough. I'm keen to see what happens with the third and final part.